Genuine ostrich.
45 minutes.
Wait,
Just
what?
goofing.
I'm just goofing.
New bird goofing. That's funny, Renee. All right. Okay, we're kind of hobbled together here. And we're going to start off with $15 from Renee shipping. Thank you, Renee. Thank you for not overdoing it, because then I would have had to refund your... If you paid me too much, I would have been like, nope. All right. Let's get to going here. Sorry, we started a little earlier than usual. So let's get... No, thank you. Let's... Why isn't this showing up? Nothing's up here. Hey, there we go. Okay, let's get some music going. Yeah? Let's let people funnel in. It's a little bit early. It's a Phone It In Friday. So let's just, let's just try it. Let's just ease into it.
People have to get. Like, why didn't I meet Bijan in public as he says that thing? Why did I have to meet him at Isis' house to let him say that?
You take a gorilla hand, gorilla hand, gorilla, gorilla hand, gorilla, gorilla hand, gorilla, gorilla hand, gorilla. Put him in a wound, dark wound. Then you take Afro-African man from Africa, from Africa. You take EBC's hand, put him in a room. Then you take a gorilla hand, gorilla hand, gorilla, gorilla hand, gorilla, gorilla hand, gorilla, gorilla hand, gorilla. Then you put their hands in a box, cardboard box. Then you open the boxes from the top, and then you turn on the light, and then you have to guess which hand belongs to the gorilla and which hand belongs to EBC. You take a gorilla hand, gorilla hand. You take a gorilla hand, and you know what? There's no difference.
There's no difference.
It's the same.
It's the same.
You have to see which hand is which hand.
What?
That's so fun. Oh my god.
All right. So we're gonna go in through my watch later algorithm again. Phone It In Friday. Okay, so just we're also a little early, so we're just gonna be watching some stuff. Johnny Johnson released a he does a lot of military stuff, but he also does some oddities which are very fun. Yeah, the monowheel or the gyrocycle. Yeah, Obviously, today we have the mono wheel, but it's more of a skateboard type dealio, or the one wheel as we would call it. I think that's a brand name though. But yeah, here's the wacky mono wheel by Johnny Johnson. Love this guy's videos. He does deep dives into all the great stuff. Here's a link to his YouTube.
The monowheel. Amazingly, this wacky design in its petrol-powered form dates back to the turn of the 20th century. This child-sized monowheel was built sometime in the late 1920s. This footage is from the 1930s. But this sketch dates back to 1904 and is possibly the first
Did I just change something? Oh shit. We had a hiccup? I think we just had a hiccup. Hold on. Whoa, that was weird. It's telling me no frames dropped. You guys got all of that, huh? That was weird. All right. I probably need to like clean my computer or something. All right. Hey, if heads up, if we go down, whatever, I'll do what I can to make a new one or new stream or whatever. All right. Yeah, that was weird. Screens went black for me for a second there. All right. Cool. Good. Yay. This is fun. All right. Cool. Okay. Let's keep going.
successful engine-powered monowheel.
Let me turn it back a second.
Sketch dates back to 1904 and is possibly the first successful engine-powered monowheel. Even before engine-powered monowheels, man-powered monowheels existed. This is a sketch of Hemming's unicycle, or the Flying Yankee Velocipede. This was a hand-powered monowheel, patented in 1869.
Hold on. Skirt! Wait, what? Oh, Steam Boy. I want to watch that. Okay. I need to work on Renee's drop. Renee drops keep falling on my head. I need to work on that one. And that Steam Boy. I have a running list of things that I need to do. And then I got a wait list over here. And then I got... And then I got that one. Okay, I should probably keep that. Sorry. Getting a little distracted by things. Getting a little ADD'd. Steam Boy. I want to hear what he called it. What did he call it?
Existed. This is a sketch of Hemming's unicycle, or the Flying Yankee Velocipede. This was a
Flying Yankee Velocipede. I love those old-timey names. You know? I love that shit.
hand-powered monowheel, patented in 1869 by Richard C. Hemmings. The undeniable silliness and inventiveness of these designs have inspired many pop culture references.
Who remembers this one? Hey, so I see that the controls are also just there's buttons on the side, and like you could just It seems like you could just do everything from the buttons. Can I just can I just like not have a dildo up my butt and in my mouth? Who? Hey, yeah, monkey. I didn't see that up there. You did. Put on your freaking hat here. I got drops. Hold on. Good one, monkey. Where is it? Oh, is it not?
Oh, it's magic, you know. Never believe it's not so. It's magic,
That's you, monkey.
you know. Never believe it's not so.
All right. Good job. I don't have Renee drops yet.
References to monowheels. But despite their presence in pop culture, which often only amplifies their absurdity, these designs do actually work, despite having some flaws.
Talking about amplifying its absurdity. Hell yeah. What was I in the process? Oh, I was trying to... Where is it? Oh no, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's a little candid. I put a layer of... Oh, it's the small one too. Where's the... Ah! Stitch! Ohana. But I put a layer of clear coat all over it. I had to wait until the rain stopped. Damn it. Which kind of pissed me off, but looks really nice, in my opinion. With the nice gloss on it. Why is it so bright? Gross. Why is this so bright? I don't like it. I'm gonna turn it down. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's better. Here we go. Yeah. Looks a hell of a lot better. I just wish I could get that line. I wish I could have blended that a lot better. I just couldn't though. But the blend here looks great. You can barely see it in the hardcore light there. I mean, it's obvious with the light shining, with the studio lights straight on it. It's like ridiculous. You could definitely see that line, but yeah, I'm very proud of this one. And this one for Big B, I'm mating all of the surfaces here on, well, you can just see right here. I got the entire box. It's gonna be it's gonna have a hinge. It's gonna have latches. I got the whole thing. I'm doing all the fitment, which is very hard to do on something this. I've never made a box this large. I've always made this kind of size box where it was, but now I'm making this size box. Like, it's the same kind of box, you know? It's just, here's the latch on it. Anyway, I'm getting a little off topic here. Just wanted to show off. Because I'm, you know, I'm a bit of a show off. We're gonna have Stitch right there. Oh, Hannah. We're gonna have old Stitchy Poo right there the whole time. Boop. Yeah, Stitch is great. Oh, I'm sorry, I've been missing the chat. Yeah, everyone's probably still funneling in. It's fine. I didn't see you pointed it out just before. It's fucking excellent dude for real. Yeah, yeah. He's, you know, I seen it, and I wanted to do it, and so I did it. All right, back to the wacky mono wheel.
Often only amplifies their absurdity. These designs do actually work, despite having some flaws. The monowheel works by having a chassis inside the main wheel. Secured to the chassis is the engine, steering, and driver's seat. Most monowheels will have their engine powering a small wheel mounted to the inner chassis. This small wheel presses against the inner rim of the large monowheel, driving it using friction. 2 or 3 other small wheels are typically present on the inner chassis to keep the monowheel stable and connected to the chassis.
Is that Wolfenstein?
Steering a monowheel is done by shifting the driver's weight.
It is!
Monowheels can have steering wheels to help
They had a
swivel the
monowheel
seat
in
of
a
the rider
Wolfenstein game?
to make this easier.
I didn't play all of them.
A driver can also use their feet to obtain a very tight turning radius. Monowheels are fairly stable at low speeds, at least compared to unicycles. But like bicycles and unicycles, they are dependent on forward momentum and the balance of the rider to remain upright.
So it just seems in my head, I've never ridden in one, and I have seen a couple of the wobble videos. But as soon as you get a death wobble in one of those, it's over. It's over for you immediately, right? Like, you're in the center axis of it wobbling. That's the most dangerous. Like, that is so fucking dangerous to be on the center axis when it starts doing that death wobble.
They remain upright due to gyroscopic effects. So when a monowheel, like a bicycle, comes to a stop, a rider must put their feet out to balance the vehicle. Though some monowheel designs have support wheels or skids to prevent the vehicle from tipping. Some designs also turned using skids,
General Grievous,
but this method using
he had
friction
one.
would result in a loss of efficiency for the monowheel. Some of these old monowheel designs could reach speeds high enough to blend with city traffic. New modern monowheel speed records now exceed 65 miles per hour,
That
or
one
just
just
over
looks like it
100
would tumble.
kilometers an
It ju-
hour.
It just looks like if you're going that fucking fast, as soon as you hit the brakes, you're just gonna tumble. And yeah, like he said, you have to put your feet out to stabilize so that you don't tumble forward and go with the wheel. Oh my god, if you if you stop and then you start wobbling with the wheel. Like, you could start bouncing the wheel with your head being on the fucking ground. Like, have you ever seen when a big heavy guy gets into a big monster truck wheel and they roll it down a hill? It'll start bouncing, doo 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 doo, and it'll fucking kill you.
New modern monowheel speed records now exceed 65 miles per hour, or just over 100 kilometers an hour. However, speed, particularly for older designs, was the biggest failing of the monowheel. Just as the outer wheel of the monowheel spins, so can the inner chassis. If a monowheel driver accelerates too fast, or most dangerously brakes too fast, they run the risk of spinning inside this wheel.
I forgot this
phenomenon
movie
is often
existed.
called-
I forgot the the MIB Men in Black Sands of Time existed. I forgot about that one. Let's see if it's still tacky. Yeah, still the clear coat's still a little tacky. But I love the sheen on it. Sorry, it just caught my eye, and so I had to talk about it again.
Is often called gerbling. Gerbling can be mitigated by using skids or even fins or gyros, but braking at high speed remains dangerous. Monowheel drivers had to perform slow and controlled stops, often using their feet or skids attached to the inner chassis not to flip over.
Oh, shit.
Suspension was also a challenge for monowheel designs. Monowheels with their thin, often solid tires
Oh
were
my god, I
susceptible
so
to
want
damage.
to watch that. Steam Boy? That's what that was? Yeah, Steam Boy. I so want to watch
hard
that
terrain.
now. Next midday ripoff party, we'll watch Steam Boy. Maybe we'll do that.
Just as dangerous was a
We'll
slippery
go through
surface.
some of the old Studio Ghibli stuff, because I haven't seen... Pessy's the one that kind of was like, hey, this is anime also. And I was like, whoa, that stuff looks cool. And my son showed me this one movie that came out a while ago. It was animals flying barons, in the sky or whatever, Porky Baron or whatever the fuck. It was interesting. I wanted to watch it too.
The monowheel's greatest strength is that it has such minimal contact with the ground, making it very efficient. But this lack of friction also means the vehicle has terrible traction, with the risk of being sent to the next dimension very high on slick roads. The early 20th century was fascinated by the potential of the monowheel, as if the vehicle wasn't dangerous enough.
What did that kid just do? You see what the kid just did? Where are they? You know where they are. This is the old timey. This is a farm. What did this kid do? What does this kid do? Look at the face. Look at his face. You see the little his face, her face. You know how they used to dress him up all the same? The boys would have the powdered wigs and look like girls. This is that time. But look at where this kid steered the monowheel.
The early 20th century was fascinated by the potential of the monowheel. As if the
Road
vehicle
apples.
wasn't dangerous enough, several designs tested the...
Yo, look at and this. Here's the inventor of this particular model. He's pissed. His son, who he dressed up as a daughter, yeah, drove it right in. I paid. Hold on. Let's act this one out. Thaddeus, Thaddeus, turn, Thaddeus, Thaddeus. Ah, bugger! You just went right into the poop, didn't you? Ah, it took me. That monowheel, it cost me, Thaddeus, that monowheel, it cost me $13. I had to sell your mother's ring for that, Thaddeus. She died of consumption last year. Ah, Thaddeus. Look at him, he's pissed. I gotta clean that off. He was looking back at it. Oh, you did it right in the shit, didn't you? Ah, God. Okay. Sorry, I just had to point that one out. Why did I call him Thaddeus? I don't know. It's not even that old of a name.
Fascinated by the potential of the monowheel. As if the vehicle wasn't dangerous enough, several designs tested the potential of powering them using a propeller. This design, shown in a popular science publication, was amazingly conceived as a military vehicle for use during World War I. Dynaspheres were another type of monowheel. This design placed the driver and inner housing in a heavy metal lattice work. These heavy designs required a more complex gearing system that would shift the inner housing to steer the monowheel. This design was more stable and encased the driver, but did not solve the issue of the internal housing spinning inside the structure when braking or accelerating. And
and you would still need it's, a pretty flat surface to operate on. You still can't, you're not going to take this thing off-roading. The large wheel, it has to be only on paved surfaces now. Because otherwise it would be incredibly bumpy and you would never want to be in this fucking thing.
For turning, it was a far inferior design to the smaller monowheel.
Yeah, turning would suck.
All right, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching. I hope we were able to get a grip on something a bit different for the channel. And I know everyone is tired of my really bad puns at the end of these videos. So before you get deflated, I will just wish you a nice rest of your day.
Frozen. Are you here for? Yeah, it's way early. That's right. I did have a queue. I had a queue that I set up, but we're way early in the show. So let's listen to the music now. This is an edit. It's funny. Thank you for liking and retweeting the link to the show. Yo, buck. All right. Now we're into the 3D printing. So I'm trying to, with the Phoning In Fridays, I'm trying to do, I'm still trying to hang true with the start of my channel. When I started doing 3D printing, that's when, a lot of interest started coming in, and it was more than just me playing video games on stream and shit. This is really where my channel is gonna focus on. So we're gonna really intersperse a lot more of the 3D printing and learning about how to do CAD, or maybe a new CAD software is up, and that would be cool to design my own shit. This right here, it's not my design, and I had to pay for it. And, such is the life, where if you don't design it, then, well, you got to pay for it, and you got to pay for the rights to sell it, and you got to pay for everything. And that's just what I'm going to try and get around now.
Plasticity 3D has emerged as a compelling alternative in the world of 3D modeling software, particularly for those who need powerful, precise modeling capabilities with a focus on NURBS and CAD-like workflows. It offers a streamlined approach to modeling that appeals to both professionals and hobbyists who are looking for a simpler yet effective way to create complex shapes and surfaces. In this video, we dive deeper into what plasticity is about, its strengths and weaknesses, its main focus, and what its recent update brings to the table.
Is this, I thought this was
Plasticity
going to
3D
be
was developed by Nicholas Bishop, a software engineer and a 3D modeling enthusiast. The development began in an attempt to fill a gap in the market between complex CAD software like SolidWorks and the more artist-friendly 3D
I don't want to do a
tool
puff
like
piece
Blender.
advertisement. No, shut up, dude. Shut up. This is an advertisement disguised as a genuine YouTube video. Okay. Anyway, Plasticity 3D is the okay, come on, I think we're gonna skip this one largely. Yeah, we're probably gonna skip this one. This is a giant ass advertisement. Curve manipulation, surface editing, snapping and alignment. Yeah. Okay, how much does it cost? It's claiming to rivaling Fusion 360. Yeah. Okay, it's a pay-to-play one. Sorry for wasting your time, everybody. We're gonna do... Yeah, you know what? We're gonna make it up with Banana Phone. That's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna make it up with Banana Phone after
3D modeling.
This next one. Oh, sorry. what's up, man?
I anticipate no less than ecstasy. If you wanna read, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll stay home on my own, breathe in silence alone. Turn off my phone, say goodbye to the rumble outside. Let the big precious slide, feel so alive.
Oh, no, too early.
After the catwalk in the kitchenette, I show myself some love in the bubble bath. My hair is blown wild, just like on MTV. Sounds like a fairy tale wherever this may be. I'll stay home on my own, breathe in silence alone. Turn off my phone, say goodbye to the rumble outside. Let the peer pressure slide, feel so alive. I'll stay home on my own, breathe in silence alone. Turn off my phone, say goodbye to the rumble outside. Let the vibrations slide, feel so don't need the eyes of the world. We're splendid and grand, kings and queens, and every single darling in between.
Nice. Very nice.
You come right here, you see that's
Jarring, A Tozy. That was jarring. Whew. But first,
Banana phone. Pong, ping, pong, ping, pong, ping. Banana phone. It's no baloney. It ain't a phony. My cellular, banana phone.
Oh, look, there's Gary Oldman. Oh, God. Ooh. Excuse me. All right. So, we've been kind of following a little bit with the downfall of Johnny Somali, specifically with Atozi's coverage of has been phenomenal, and of course he went to South Korea to to document this live with that weirdo lawyer guy who's definitely like a shady fucking guy, but yeah, I don't think Atozi really like knows who he's talking to when he's talking to that guy, but he is an English speaking dude there, so I mean, yeah, I get it.
If you come right here, you see that 7-Eleven right there.
You kind of
is where,
strange bedfellows. I don't blame Atozi for having to talk to that weird lawyer guy, but here we are. We're hold on. Dude? Oh, I can't really get mad at him. It's technically before 11 a.m. 11 a.m. my time, because I'm stupid and I still live in California. But, alright, I'm not going to get mad. I was about to get mad at him because I'm in the middle of my show, but I did start early, and I did tell him specifically, don't fucking talk to me for 2 fucking hours. These are the 2 fucking hours.
pretty much the most hated live stream in the
where
world
was I?
made. One of the worst.
Yeah, I don't blame Atozi for having to work with that lawyer dude. But Nightwave Radio Mersh has gone into when he was covering Johnny Somali and all of this. He was also talking about that. I forget the guy's name. He's Asian lawyer guy, American Asian lawyer guy. He's an American dude out there in Asia, being a lawyer, trying to get. When Mersh like described it, it was very creepy. This guy, he's like, his whole business model is to entice men essentially into the sex trade and into the buying hookers and being a David Bond. Like he's like David Bond's lawyer. You know what I mean? Like, ew. Anyway, Atozi is not this guy. He just happens to, be in Korea corroborating with this lawyer guy on coverage of Johnny Somali.
If you come right here, you see that 7-Eleven right there is where pretty much the most hated live stream in the world made one of the worst decisions of his life by decided to getting belligerently drunk, throwing noodles around, and then cussing out an elderly store employee. This basically kickstarted his downfall here in Korea because it was after that incident that things started to crumble together for him.
And this caused a ripple effect that put enough negative attention on his behavior that he got the attention of the Korean government. And now with all the official charges placed on him,
I like how he's like, he's gently going over like the insane shit that happened around the same time, like with the statues dedicated to the women who were sexually abused and forced into brothels for the Japanese war machine. Like, it's fucking insane. The disrespect of that is like I get edgy and shit here on stream and I say some wild shit, but wow, that's fucking wild. Are we still live? Oh, thanks, Rumble. That's really cool that suddenly you would drop the viewership. That was really cool. Yeah, okay. It just dropped. No, there's still people here. Okay. Yeah, Jameson, what's up, Jameson? We started a little early. JJ went early. Awesome. I love how, like, I'm having, like, issues streaming with Rumble.
He's now facing over a decade in Korean prison. So today, we're going to head over to his trial. So over the past few years, this streamer has built a small career off of going to countries that have a reputation of being extremely polite, taking advantage of this and harassing people for his own content. And not too long after he started doing this, he ended up in jail in Japan for a little bit over 3 months while he was awaiting his trial. Eventually, he only ended up receiving a fine and a slap on the wrist, and he chose to double down on the style of content. So he then went to Israel, but unfortunately for him, he was attacked multiple times, had a lot of interactions with the police, and ended up fleeing the country before something happened to him. This is where he decided to go to Korea and try this format that he did in Japan over here. And unfortunately, he did this for a while until he flew just a little bit too close to the sun.
Oh no. Why would you say it like that?
So essentially, he was streaming exactly from right here.
And obviously, that upset a lot of people, including the Korean.
What was the point? Oh, okay, so he had to justify, like... Okay, I know what Atozi's doing here. He's setting up for the eventual documentary that's coming out. That's really cool. Come on, man. Just... fucking streamers, man.
In government, and naturally, he is his own worst enemy because he films and live streams everything that he does. So all the Korean officials have to do is just sit and go through all of his live streams, which they all have saved, and essentially say, oh, well, you did this, you did this, you did this, we can charge you for this, this, and this. And when those charges can drop, that can be whenever. In theory, they can just keep on opening more and more cases against him based on his past content. And under no circumstances can Johnny leave the country until all of his cases are finished, all of his time is served, and all of his fines are paid. But for some reason, up until now, Johnny thought he was going to get away easily. But as you can see, I flew out to Korea to go to the trial and report right back to you guys exactly how things went down.
So it's now a couple days before the trial, and he's now been hit with...
Whoa, hold on. I didn't see all of that. Did he have his...
Easily. But as you can see, I flew out to Korea to go to the trial and report right back to you guys exactly how things went down.
So it's now a couple days before...
So you see how he did that? He set up this entire shot for yeah, I get it. You wanted to be a little bit artistic. You ended up being pretentious, Atozi. I hate that shit. Just give me the fucking facts, dude. I get it. You're trying to set up for eventually you're going to be this super serious documentarian
for the trial, and he's now been hit with yet another charge of obstruction of business. Dude is essentially collecting charges like he's Thanos collecting Infinity Stones. Now, he's sitting there with a grand total of about 2 charges for obstruction of business and 2 misdemeanor charges.
The most ironic thing about all this is I feel like I'm actually taking Johnny's trial more seriously than him when it's his freedom that's on the line. I dragged my jet-lagged self out to the trial 2 hours before it started because I wanted to be there at a minimum an hour early so I could guarantee myself a seat in the Saal. Saal is Norwegian. To guarantee myself a seat in the courtroom. But
he loves sprinkling that in there. Oh, I grew up in Norway. I get it, man. You're so sophisticated European. Anyway.
This dude decided to go live drunk at 3 in the morning and live stream for like 3 hours when he had to be in the court by like 8:50. And here, in his own fashion, he started trash talking the Korean government and accidentally leaked that he had more charges coming his way.
National Intelligence Security Charge.
That's not a good thing in any country. Especially in Korea, though. In South Korea, that is not a good thing. Because then they can just label you as a sympathizer to their sworn enemy, who, by the way, Johnny, they are still at war with. It is still going on. It is going to turn into 100 years war. And possibly more. We're almost at 100 years of Korean War. I hope you understand this. We are almost 80 years into Korean War. They can just label you as an enemy of the state. They can line you up against a fucking wall. And they can fucking shoot you in the face. And there's nothing that the U.S. can do about it at all. That's it. No, I mean, that's obviously an extreme. Obviously, they're not going to do that. They're just going to throw you in a prison. But that's the extent of what they can do. Anyway.
National Intelligence Security Charge. Does anybody know what the that means? They say the National Intelligence Service is going to come get me. Tell them come find me. I ain't scared of them.
How is
Korea has access to satellites.
How is this guy playing his cards in the dumbest way possible every single time? I mean, like, it's like every decision he makes is going to make everything infinitely worse for himself. He just does not want to be a free man. But as many of you guys know, he's been running around promoting North Korea in his streams on the metro station by blasting the national anthem and by blasting various speeches by Kim Jong-un. No. And then he's been running around, preaching positivity about North Korea while he's been streaming. And if you know anything about
I forgot that he was putting out they don't have the same freedom of speech. They don't. They just don't. I forgot that he was doing that. Oh my God. Remember the fucking the former special fucking Korean Marine who kicked his ass, and then a bunch of people gave him money. Anyway, I hope he brings this up.
That's an unwise thing to do. It's like he's actively making his life harder on purpose for himself. And that wasn't the only charge. He also accidentally leaked that he was getting a charge that was infinitely worse while using a racial slur to the prosecutors and judge.
Sticking it in my hip.
They writing this in language.
And this is where things get interesting, because it shows how the prosecutors are playing against him. Because this is a way more serious charge, and it's a completely separate case. Meaning, if he pleads guilty to the smaller charges, they can then charge him in this case as a repeat offender. Meaning, they'll be going way harder on him with the sentencing. So keep that in mind for later. But apparently, he just doesn't care, because he just announced that no matter what, he's just going to stream and make money even though he legally cannot.
I don't give a. These gonna lock me in the country. I'm gonna make bread. If these lock me in the country, I'm gonna make bread. I don't give a. I don't give a. Send that to the prosecutor. My live stream donators, they gonna get it rich and oiled because they feel bad that I've been locked here.
They shut all that down.
Snitching. Johnny Somali is making money.
Yeah, they're gonna shut all that down.
Korean corrupt ass government. If the government don't want me to work,
I'll
not
agree.
working. I'm streaming. Two different things. I could be at Home Depot or selling my. That's working. Shut the.
All of this is just so incredibly self-inflicted. Maybe people would have a little bit of sympathy for him if he didn't spend the last 2 years harassing strangers in public for profit. Dude is literally just traveling to be a burden to other people's societies as a career. And he's admitted that's how he makes his money. So this is his occupation. And clearly he doesn't care about anyone except for himself, and he will just do anything to make money. And he's admitted that himself.
I just don't get it, bro. Like, you're gonna come up to me, bro. Why are you being other people in other countries? Why are you bullying people in other countries? For money, like, for clout. I've said it many times.
But if he cared so much about himself, I'm surprised he did this before showing up to court. Because wouldn't he want freedom? Because on his stream, knowing he had court in just a few hours, he drank until he vomited all over the place.
I'm giving y'all the first viral moment tonight.
Here, really quick, while I'm remembering, Atozy is kind of like a. I kind of depend on this as much as I talk shit on him and be like, oh, you grew up in Europe. He hears that all the time. He doesn't give a shit. And besides, he makes a lot of money doing this. He also is really good at kind of giving you these deep dives when you don't have the fucking time to fucking... You don't have the time to invest into research, whereas he's doing all of this. Him and his crew. He has a crew, obviously. Here, let me get a link and drop he doesn't need my help, but if you want to learn about internet shit and all this degenerate bullshit, here you can learn it. Here's the link.
Oh my god, I threw up everything.
He covers it pretty well.
Oh my god.
And obviously, yeah, that happened just a few hours before he was supposed to meet up for court. So, naturally, he overslept. But before he ended the stream, he also announced that he was going to live stream during the trial.
The trial is live tomorrow, and I will be live streaming the trial.
While he's at it, what's another felony for him?
So it's Friday morning. We're now heading to the Johnny Smalley lawsuit, which is definitely going to be very interesting because I feel like it's going to go one of, three ways. It's like either he gets a complete slap on...
Hold on, really quick again. Rumble wanted to log me out in the middle of my stream. So, hold one. Are we good? Is it still going? Awesome. This is awesome, Rumble. I love that, like, I'm I'm in the middle of the fucking stream. And you, like, motherfuckers. I get logged out in the middle of the fucking stream. God damn it. I'm over on YouTube. I can see on YouTube. I'm perfectly fine. It doesn't look like Rumble wants to show me anything. Cool. Yeah. Hell yeah. I love working with I don't like working with Rumble. This sucks. Are we still live? Like, I got Rumble chat open, but Rumble Studio is showing me nothing right now. But YouTube, which is piggybacking off of Rumble Studio, is showing up just fine. I want to... Okay, yeah, everyone's saying yes. Okay. Wow. I really don't like being on Rumble. Okay. Let me just put... Okay, you know what? I'll put my stream up. Yeah, because Rumble Studio doesn't want to work. Awesome. It's working, but it doesn't want to show me it's working. That's awesome. Thanks, Chris.
On the rest, and he's like, all right, get out of here. 2, they want to go somewhere in the middle of the road where they give him some punishment, but also don't want him here for too long. Or 3, the judge just really drops the hammer down on him, and he serves quite a while here. And I feel like the second option is the most likely outcome, but also, who knows? Because I don't know how judges normally handle cases here. First time in Seoul. Got Hans with me. He's editor of the channel, one of the editors. Him alongside of Daniel. Unfortunately, Daniel was sick, so he couldn't come out to Korea. But me and Hans are holding down the fort. I'm actually shocked right now. So we just found out that Johnny's been streaming all night, and he's incredibly drunk. And apparently he's been doing like text-to-speech donation shots, and his chat, of course, got him incredibly drunk before his papers. Or not before his papers, before his trial. And the reason I mentioned papers is because apparently he showed his papers on stream, and apparently he's been indicted for some crazier crimes than what we even thought. So this is going to be an interesting day, to put it lightly. If he doesn't show up, what happens?
They will put it off for a month.
Okay.
Or in his case, in this very special case, he might be detained.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's made such a stink that they might feel that he's a risk, so they'll probably arrest him. Potentially, that'll be funny.
Apparently another Korean streamer
Couple influencers
threw a brick through a window here.
The window. Yeah.
He broke the window over there.
Wow.
This other Korean streamer.
Yeah. Young man.
So what's the prediction of how long Johnny's going to get, you guys think?
What do we predict his sentence?
Yeah.
3 to 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And he'll be held here in Korea for that.
In prison.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
He'll go to the foreign prison, which is not fun. He'll have lots of Chinese friends there to keep him company, and he's been making fun of China as well, so that'll go over brilliantly.
Yeah.
He's about to find out that being in an Asian prison is not.
It doesn't help when you have multiple charges stacked against.
No.
This is the real break.
That was the...
So there'll be a little deeper with the.
Oh man, that one got me. It's the not this guy closer to me, the other guy on the other end. That's the lawyer that I was talking about earlier. I know, I'm totally being professional right now. Woo.
This is the real break here. And so there'll be a little deeper with the.
All the cases, basically.
I guess the big question is will he show up?
Right.
Yeah, he's wasted at the moment. So.
We've been covering him for what, like a year and a half, and every video I make on him, I'm like, how is this possible? How is...
I don't think that Atozy here is aware of like how it looks like. Johnny Somali has said one thing that is true, that these guys are latched on to every single thing that he does, and yes, it's true. They were at here it is the day of the trial, and they are fully aware of his alcohol consumption just hours previous. You are... he is rent-free in your head. Yes, Atozy, he is rent-free in your head. But also, at the same point, he is way over the top on everything he does. It's great that you're documenting it. Thank you, Atozy.
Is he finding a new low?
So yes, yes, I will agree with Johnny. You're hanging on, wow, man. Rent free. All right, sure. However, it's noteworthy. This is amazing. We love to see it.
Oh, and today, he found a new low, or tonight. He was rambling about the judge.
He was rambling about the judge. He was rambling about everything. He showed
This
the
is pretty
document that
wild.
he's legally not allowed to show that you have a picture of, which shows that he's basically, the police have
Look,
sent.
and there's that fucking skeezy. He's doing the whole like, I'm here, bro. Bro, oh, bro.
Sent the crimes charges,
fake charges to the prosecutor in the Eastern District.
He's a he's a
So he
schemy
showed
looking
that.
dude.
Yeah,
too.
but
No,
he
not
shouldn't show
confirmed.
that.
Not confirmed. It's at the prosecutors, but there's a very high chance that they will indict.
Look at him. He's just as like, ew, man. This dude is his physiognomy. You could not. I'm not talking about the Harvey Sheckelstein Smith, silversmith. I'm talking about the lawyer. The lawyer I've been talking about. The fucking the white guy. I'm talking about that guy. He's just so like, you could tell he went to somebody. He went to a country somewhere in Southeast Asia, and you could just tell. Yeah, you did that, didn't you?
Yeah.
And maybe they have indicted. We don't know yet, but we will find out.
So could that add more charges for him as well?
Look at him.
No, he can show that. I mean,
I don't like the guy.
He pleaded
He's
guilty
gross.
to the other charges that they had, which was obstruction of business, carrying a rotting fish and threatening people with it in public. Working on
That's a
the
charge.
train and that kind of thing.
Right. The dapper gentleman who was in the recap I did after the stream, he did a court summary where essentially he wrote down everything that happened during the courtroom. So here we have Johnny Smalley court case, March 7th, 2025, first hearing. 9:50, courtroom doors open. 9:51. Courtroom layout and observations. Atozy begins to make a courtroom sketch. Just in case you were wondering, this is my courtroom sketch here. So this is exactly what the...
Hold on. I got one for this. Hold on. I got one for this.
Pork tacos.
That's horrible. That's horrible, man. Come on, man. It's like one step. Look, there's stick. Look. He did his hands, and look over here on the right. There's defense. There's Johnny right there. That's Johnny. He has him wearing it's a stick figure, dude. Dude, you did stick figures, dude. You made it, you made it a bigger mockery. Yuck.
Courtroom looked like from the podium where we were sitting. So you have the judge in the center there, the Korean flag behind him. You have the prosecution on one side and then the defense on the other side. And as you can see, Johnny's stanced up in a very oversized white suit. And then obviously in the middle there, you had the interpreters because there was no witnesses that was called to this case yet. Hearings begin. 10:09, Ramzi Khalid Ismail is called to the stand. His lawyer informs the judge that he is attempting to contact him. The entire court waits. The judge appears mildly irritated. 10:11, delay confirmed. The lawyer finally makes contact.
That's not... I don't know if any of you have been into a courtroom setting and have been in a defensive scenario. I'm not pointing fingers in any direction at all, but it's not a good sign if the judge is if the judge is already starting the day pissed off. This one was a good one. I may or may not be speaking from experience. I don't know what my lawyer is allowing me to say, but I'm just saying that this story may or may not have happened. So the first fucking guy in line in defense when they're trying to knock out these cases one after another in a day, the first one is already... Homie was all ready for a fight. Like a physical fight. And put the judge in a mood for everybody else in the back. Especially for the next person that has to go up and talk to the fucking judge.
With Ramzi and informs the court that he will arrive 15 minutes late. At 11, Johnny Somali is absent. Johnny has still not appeared in court. Given that he was drinking all night, it is possible that he is still intoxicated. His lawyer appears to be attempting to sober him up. 11:09, Ramzi arrives. The courtroom informed Ramzi that he is on his way up the stairs. The judge and prosecution appeared mildly irritated. 11:11. Ramzi enters the courtroom looking very rough. He is wearing an ill-fitted gray suit that is too large for him and a red MAGA cap. As he enters, he smirks at Atozy and me. He then notices Legal Mindset, who is slightly in his blind spot. Seeing Legal Mindset, he grins foolishly.
That's the guy.
And sticks his tongue out at him. Hank follows closely behind. In an attempt to appear confident, Ramzi fails to follow courtroom protocol. He is told to remove his hat, which...
So what they're doing here is these influencers are like, well, I'll do a minute by minute, and I'll incorporate all of us into the story, so we are part of the story. They're setting themselves up to be into the documentary that is inevitably going to come out, and they're going to own the rights to it. They're sharking the story rights to Johnny Somali and the downfall of Johnny Somali. That's what they're doing right now. They want the story rights, which is where the money is. You have to think like, you have to think about where the money is. Yes.
Which he does. However, while smirking at Legal Mindset, he absent-mindedly puts it back on.
See, they're
the court
putting
officer
their
immediately
names
instructs him
into
to
it.
remove it again. He then attempts to sit in the interpreter's seat and is told to move. So he originally went to the center, but obviously he can't be there, so he had to go to the defense side. After a brief moment of confusion, he finds his lawyer and sits beside him. He once again glances at Legal Mindset, smirks, and sticks out his tongue. The judge and prosecution observe everything. In the audience, 2 female journalists sit directly in front of us. A white male journalist sits on the left-hand side of the courtroom. All of them rapidly taking notes on their laptops. Ramsey is instructed to stand for the judge. His demeanor is disrespectful and irreverent. The judge asks for his occupation, to which he falsely claims to be a student. The judge raises an eyebrow, but does not otherwise react. When asked to confirm his address, Ramsey suddenly adopts a confused and helpless foreigner persona. He pretends to not know his address because he does not speak Korean. The judge informs him that he may speak English and simply state the numbers. It is evident that the judge understands and likely speaks English. The judge asks for his nationality.
Okay,
to which
he glazed over that part, but Mersh did a very great coverage of that one. It's just numbers. They're numbers.
He promptly responds the United States of America. Ramsey stands sloppily in his oversized suit,
No, wait, was
hands
it
in his pockets.
Pessy? Was that Pessy that was talking about Johnny? Oh no, that was after a show and we were just talking about him. Yeah. That's what Pessy was saying. He was like you fucking idiot. It doesn't matter if you speak Korean. They're numbers. They're numbers.
While speaking to the judge. Oh, and also just to add more context, so Ramsey is speaking to a translator who is then talking to the judge in Korean. But as stated, it seemed very clear the judge fully understood Ramsey. And then obviously to add more context, if it's not clear, Ramsey is Johnny Somali. 11:15, judge issues a warning. The judge warns Ramsey that failure to attend future hearings could result in a harsh sentence in his absence. 11:16, charges were read by the prosecution. The prosecution reads out the 3 charges against Ramsey. 1, disruption of business. Ramsey entered a 7-Eleven and began drinking alcohol, which is illegal in Korea. When the elderly shop owner asked him to stop, he became verbally abusive. He threw ramen inside the store and continued drinking anyway. He played loud music, danced drunkenly, and harassed customers as they entered. His actions caused financial harm to the business and emotional distress to the owner. The prosecutor's language mirrors the strict legal vocabulary used in the previous drug dealer's case that we witnessed before Ramsey's case, emphasizing the social damage that Ramsey's actions caused. 2, public harassment with a rotting fish. Ramsey carried a rotting fish in a plastic bag and harassed people. When passengers asked him to remove the fish from the bus, he ignored them. He randomly approached pedestrians with a rotting fish, disturbing social order and making people feel unsafe. Upon hearing about the rotting fish, the judge slightly tilts his head and reviews the charges, seemingly in disbelief. However, he remains stone-faced and does not comment. And the third charge is lewd conduct on public transportation. Ramsey was accused of sexually suggestive dancing and playing loud music on the bus and in train. He was specifically accused, in quote, of twerking, which is considered deviant in Korea.
I'm not doing it. Oh, yeah, no.
This is a statute Johnny twerked on.
And that's apparently the first time the word twerking has ever been used in a court case in Korea. 11:18, the unexpected 4th charge. The judge asks Ramsey if he's received the letter of the 4th charge.
I'm sorry, real quick. I have to set this up because I will need to go to the restroom right now. And I'm not going to end the stream. Don't worry, I did actually make it on time. Barely to the bathroom that one stream. But let me put this up real quick. And we'll keep going.
Charge. Both Ramsey and his lawyer appeared confused. The lawyer receives a new charge and reviews it. Then the judge asks the defense how they wish to plead. Ramsey's lawyer states that he pleads guilty to all charges except for the new charge, which they have not yet reviewed. The judge asks how much time the defense requires. The lawyer requests 3 weeks to review the new charge. The judge then grants the request, and then the hearing of the 4th charge is scheduled for April 9th, 2025. Ramsey no longer smiles and appears very concerned. 11:20. Judge's final word. The judge sternly warns Ramsey to not be late for the next hearing. The judge looks mildly annoyed, which in Korean culture indicates that he is actually very annoyed. 11:22. Court adjourns. We stand and exit the courtroom, leaving Ramsey behind. After the hearing, a journalist asked Ramsey why he wore a MAGA cap and kept putting it back on. Ramsey responded, "Because I can do whatever I want. Korea is a vassal state of America." Again, that is a quote from him. His freedom is in Korea's hands right now. Why he's acting like this now, I don't know. But also, I have no idea why he's done 99% of the stuff that we've been covering him doing. But after the trial, we went and had lunch and discussed the trial.
First trial case for him. Very fascinating. Apparently he pled guilty to the first set of charges, and he now has another court date and a separate trial or a separate case. Can you do a quick run through about the fish thing? Or like, so what happened?
So basically, he got on the public transport with a rotten fish.
Yeah, I'm aware of the story, but what did the judge say about all that?
They indicted him for it because it's disturbance of business, and the public transport here is technically a private company. Like, it's half government owned, but it's still a private company. So it's still obstruction of business, and he was harassing people with the fish randomly in the street for no reason. They said specifically he was approaching people for no reason and harassing them with a rotten fish.
Okay.
So it's kind of, it goes into harassment and also the obstruction of business. Yeah. Because it made public transport, people felt unsafe, they said.
So that counted as an obstruction of business as well, not only just minor charges? That was a minor charges or a misdemeanor. Okay, yeah.
Basically, like harassment.
Yeah. And then the second minor charges was him on the subway twerking.
Subway twerking, playing loud music. Playing loud music and disrupting people, making them feel unsafe on public transport.
What did the judge say or react to any of it? Did he give anything?
He just kind of basically...
Asians take their public transport and their public transportation, like their buses and their trains, incredibly seriously, especially the Japanese, because of the Aum Shinrikyo and the subway attack and the Raisen attacks the terrorism, and also the Koreans. It's almost the exact same. It's like you don't mess with public transport. I got there are Marines who accidentally would step onto a woman-only bus in Japan, and we would get in trouble because we didn't know that there were buses that are women only, because in Japan there was a serious issue of creepy, guys groping women. And they were like, okay, we're going to start our own buses. Like, oh shit. And it's weird. You get yelled off of the bus and you have no idea why. Suddenly you're like, what's going on? And then you start to, like, they start pointing around and you start understanding. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And you keep bowing and backing the fuck up. Bow and back the fuck up.
Didn't show much response, he was just noting down what the charges were. And as Johnny was walking in making faces, the judge noticed that he was making faces, so it's probably not going to count in his favor.
Right.
Tried to wear the hat as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he tried to wear a hat.
Tried to wear the Trump hat.
MAGA hat. I can't wear my hat.
The fact that they made him take it off twice was hilarious.
Oh man.
And he wore a very badly fitting suit.
That's Hank.
It's Hank suits. That's got too much padding.
What? Oh, okay. They're wearing bibs. I was like, why are we all?
It was like a
they're in a restaurant.
It was embarrassing.
After lunch, I ended up trying to live stream multiple times, but couldn't get a decent internet connection, so we ended up going to a Starbucks to where I could actually stream. And that's how we got this VOD, which is still up on my channel. And remember what I said about him pleading guilty?
He loves that one. That one is
how we got this VOD.
Yep. He loves that one. He got almost his entire subscriber base to watch that one. Yeah.
Which is still up on my channel. And remember what I said about him pleading guilty? Well, that's exactly what happened because, he showed up drunk and pled guilty to 3 of those charges. Which means, no matter what, he's going to become a convicted criminal in Korea because he just pleaded guilty. So he's now banned from Korea when they finally let him leave here after he's served all of his time and paid all of his fines. And in future cases against him, he'll be tried as a repeat offender, meaning he'll be getting a way harsher sentence. And in these future cases, it seems like these charges are way harsher. But somehow, after all of that, he still thinks
he's not. You don't want what's known as modifiers when you're charged with any kind of a crime. when they start bringing up what's called modifiers, that's just like, and another year, and another year, and another. It's just add up, just round up. That's what that means. It means round up. Modifiers suck.
Not even going to spend any jail time in Korea.
Yes, Renee. If it's your first time, that really is like, if it's your first time standing in front of a judge and they have what's known as a no file on you, or a thin file, they have no idea, that does go a long way. Trust me. Oh, that does go a long way.
And he's going to be a free man soon. And not only that, he also admitted to showing up drunk and not caring about his case on a live stream. After all that,
they're claiming that like I came in and I was.
Wait. What did he? What? Hold on. I'm sorry. I missed a lot. I came back from the bathroom and I missed a lot. I know. What did Johnny do? I must have missed all of this.
Only that, he also admitted to showing up drunk and not caring about his case on a live stream. After all that,
they're claiming that like I came in and I was.
He's fully aware. No, he's fully aware that the judge is watching all of this. The prosecution is watching all of this in tandem with the Korean intelligence service is watching everything he's doing.
Blindsided by the fact that I had a new charge and was like sitting in the wrong place and was nervous. This was a breeze, and the only reason I'm ready to start going live again, because honestly I have no fear. Like, that's really, these people are clout chasing off my name so badly.
They are. And that's what I was saying earlier. When I noticed how they're trying to do this, like, oh, we're gonna make a documentary thing, because I see it coming. He's right. You have to give this fucking idiot, you have to let this idiot know when he's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he's right. The fuck? Okay, sorry. My apologies.
Arrived late and hungover. Okay, they're not lying about that part. I'll give you that. I was late to the court by like an hour. I was hungover. I'm gonna be honest about that. But it wasn't really that big of a deal.
No, now no, dude. Now you just admitted to like disrespecting the judge in his courtroom. This is not good. This is a big deal. You just made it a big deal.
I showed up drunk. I showed up happy. But they got me for spilling a cup of noodles. They got me for carrying a stinky fish. They got me for some, bro. You can't go to jail for that in any country. I know for a fact I'm not gonna go to jail.
You can't. You 100% can. They could just change the rules in Korea, like what they're doing right now in Korea with their government. They're just changing the rules and they just do whatever they want, and they could just do that, and they'll just do that, and then because you're such a piece of shit, they're just gonna do it, and we're all just gonna, like that South Park episode where we're just gonna yep. Hold on, now I gotta pull it up. Oh, I'm on YouTube. Okay, well, South Park did a very funny episode where they sacrificed Britney Spears.
Not one day in jail, but
they're sacrificing for the
I
harvest.
have the footage of me and Hank leaving the court laughing our asses off. Like, bro, we're not taking this serious.
Dude, do you not care about your free?
Yeah. Hold on. I haven't seen this. Okay. Let's see what Atozy says. Here I was freaking out. I just had to wait a second. Let's see what he says.
Laughing our asses off. Like, bro, we're not taking this serious.
Dude, do you not care about your freedom anymore? I mean, unfortunately for him, this was likely his last conversation with his lawyer.
We got good and bad news. Good news, we got your payment, buddy. Bad news, they gave you life. Sayonara.
Except he's using a public defender, so I mean, you get what you pay for. He's not paying them anything. And this charge, which is way more serious, is apparently the creation and distribution of the deepfake video of himself making out with another Korean female streamer, which is a massive charge in Korea because that's extremely illegal. And from that charge alone, if he's unlucky enough, that could be another decade in prison. And I mean, just by looking at how he's treating this case, it's not like he's playing his cards right to get any sympathy from the judge. I'm in disbelief, honestly. Why would you willingly just absolutely destroy your life and freedom to live stream for like 40 people? But as we mentioned earlier, there was another journalist who was there who asked him the question where he said that he was wearing the MAGA hat because Korea is a vassal state of America. That's his words, absolutely not mine. And he's saying this.
No, they're not. We have a very tenuous relationship with them. Do you know how anti they're actually pretty anti-Trump because Trump was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go talk to Kim. We're gonna have a good time, Kim. Let's talk." And like South Korea is just like, okay. Like, they're kind of not into it at all.
Right after the U.S. announced they were looking into dropping tariffs on South Korea. So again, optics-wise,
see, they're really not into Trump right now, and they haven't been since Trump and Kim were like holding hands. Trump and Kim holding hands was like a real big, like, I wouldn't say middle finger, but like it was like a nudge and a wink to all of South Korea, you know?
Terrible decision to make. I guess his Hail Mary is he's thinking Trump's gonna come save him because he's wearing that hat. Wake up call. That's not gonna happen, buddy. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to see what happens. Either way, it really does not look like it's gonna go well for him.
I don't know the fuck this Johnny Somali is, folks. Frankly, he's completely reprehensible, and I feed him to the fucking wolves. I don't give a fuck.
For him, everyone I've talked to have estimated anywhere from
I gave more lip service to Johnny Somali than Trump ever will. He won't even say his fucking name.
3 to 5 years is a realistic term for
fade him to the wolves.
Then we have all the future things that can happen. So who knows how much time he'll actually end up getting. If this video gets 100,000 likes, I will fly out and go to a future case again. Obviously, if you're new here, welcome to my channel and feel free.
I was always under the impression that they were like, eviscerate them. Really? No shit. Well, I stand corrected. So Pat and Mr. Footbagger are saying that they're actually very pro unification now, or at least, you know, they've always been. I've always been under the assumption that they. What did I say? I said assume, didn't I?
free to subscribe. And if you want to see some extra behind-the-scenes vlogs of this trip, feel free to become a member of this channel. And of course, then that would help fund future travels for my videos. But other than that, I hope I see you guys in the next video. All right, so after recording this video, I found out Johnny just released a response
it was
to our video.
Hey, if I'm spouting off USAID propaganda, by all means, Mr. Footbig, virtually slap me across. You're being crazy, Goofy Boots. Stop it. Stop it. Hey, you're being daffy, you fucking broad. Help me out. If I'm spouting off some fucked up propaganda, do it. Help me. By all means. All right, Atosi. Thanks for carrying this for a good long while. Yeah, the people want one Korea. Okay. All right. That's good. Okay then.
So
never
I'll
been,
release the
so
response to that shortly.
I forgot I put this one up next.
Эшка без номеров, стоп-учет. Сотый полный, все в один счет. Трасса, метель, гололед. 3 раза за ней на другой район. Харам, брат, зацени мой музон. Я бы сел и все пересвел. Мы разные с ней, может все-таки и все. Но вы такие все. Я тур откатал, устал. Теперь сон. Ты посмотрел сериал, теперь кричишь, кто пацан, а кто все. Как терпеть меня, я же чистый неадекват. Моя, твоя, не понимат, пацан. Это травмат или ёб твою мать.
Я приду, но там дорога дальняя, придется подождать меня. Приду, но там дорога дальняя, Я приду, но там дорога дальняя, придется подождать меня. Приду, но там дорога дальняя,
Я все бросил, как бросил ее, любя и предав. Теперь только я и полный зал. С нами Господь и Golden Sound. Дальний слепит, ближний со мной. Вряд ли ищем покой, когда на небе одной ногой. Когда не звучит, но живой. Я тур откатал, устал, но еще не все. Ты посмотри, кем я стал. 2 года труда и смог. Что еще надо, если никто не голодает? Если Господь с нами, тогда скажи мне, брат, кто же там против нас?
Я приду, но там дорога дальняя, придется подождать меня. Приду, но там дорога дальняя, Я приду, но там дорога дальняя, придется подождать меня. Приду, но там дорога дальняя,
Good one. That's a good one. Yeah. All right. Next we got I wanted to add that one to the list. All right, we'll do that one next.
Hamburger, cheeseburger, 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 hamburger, cheeseburger, 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 hamburger, cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger,
All right. Nope. Sorry, I got switched up here. Hoffman Tactical, or excuse me, Crash Makerspace. Excuse me. My bad. This guy. He reminds me. Stopping bullets cold with 3D printed resin. So this is a resin printer, which is different from my printer, which is an FDM printer. You can see here from the orange, you can tell that it's UV activated. Yeah. This orange protective hood around it is so that, you know, your eyes don't get damaged by the UV laser that is used to print out, you know, onto a it's like a mirror surface, and it prints upside down like that. You have to usually make this like weird kind of lattice work. Yeah, Jameson knows a lot about it too. And the main issue that I have with it is the smell. The smell of 3D printing, of resin printing, is horrible. It's disgusting. Any of that UV activated, that chemical, that process, I don't think there's any resin that is like it's a horrible fucking smell, and I can't deal with it. You have to put it out in the garage. You have to put it out in its own ventilated like building, essentially. If your garage is part of your house, it'll leach into the house. The house's ventilation. It's gross. Anyway. So this guy, he's going to figure out.
So we're going to continue off my previous research on lattice structures.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I did say Hoffman Tactical, but this is not Hoffman Tactical. This is a guy who kind of reminds me of Hoffman Tactical. He's just another 3D printing guy. It's Crash Makerspace. Here, let me grab a link.
And improving a material's ballistic performance based on the geometries
yes,
we can
what you're thinking,
configure these into. And the previous research that I did was just going up against a 22, which is still actually, surprisingly, I know that 22 is kind of laughed about in some cases, but that's actually a lot of energy to be stopping with hobbyist resins like I was using. So I was just using a standard SLA printer, and again, these printers are just designed for things like figurines for D&D and whatnot, never intended for engineering use case, which is why I was still pretty pleased to see the results that I got, which is why I was able to
No. So he's kind of speaking a little bit out of turn here. I happen to know for a fact it's extremely accurate. His is a 12 by 12 storage shed behind his shop. Yeah. So Jameson apparently knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, it's incredibly stinky and yucky, and you just don't even want to be near it. But when he talks about here is that resin printers are usually hobbyists. There have been recent developments in the use of UV resin, specifically just the UV activated chemical process. Is it a chemical process, or is it because it's UV activated? So is it an endothermic process? I'm sorry, I'm getting autistic, but it's a scientific process. Beep boop bop. She's dead. And there are now stronger materials now. Anyway, I just had to make that point.
I got, which is why I was able to still infer my research enough to have PCBWay print out of steel, one of those lattice structures. And it
is probably the advertiser to this guy. Let's see, he's got 251 subscribers. Yeah, PCBWay probably sponsored this video. They're a good company. I have to admit it. They're a great company. Jameson, didn't you use PCBWay? Anyway, I think you did
really well in that armor plate that I did, beating out traditional level 4 armor plates for not just the power it was stopping, but...
Hold on. Did you see that? Did you see his sling? You see his sling over the ejection port? Or is that a Desert Tech MDR? The fuck is that? Is that a Tavor or is that a Desert Tech? I don't even know. But it doesn't give a shit about how he doesn't want to put his sling on, and it's covering the ejection port. That's fucking cool.
But for how many multiple hits? Typical level 4 plates are only rated for 4 rounds of 308 or 762 AP, one each corner and center. And then this one stopped a total of 17 rounds, including 2 300
it doesn't look like it's a range,
right? Which level 4 are
it
not
looked like
rated
a
for.
Desert
So with that
Tech.
being said, if you want some metal 3D printed parts, I would absolutely recommend PCBWay. They had great precision, and obviously the part was incredibly strong. So again, it's just a reminder to take the research that's presented and think about it beyond just the medium that I'm printing it in. Think about other use cases or how it could be embedded with other materials, and that's just, how you take research.
Real quick question, Jameson, have you found any other competitors to PCBWay? Because as far as I understand, there really isn't an American competitor, is there? Anyway.
Research. That being said, what are lattice structures? How do they make it better? Just to really sum it up, if we have a solid cube like this resin block here, and I was to shoot this, what happens is that the material in here has nowhere to go. The round hits it, and it will just shove it out the back. And with something like resin that's brittle, what you'll actually see is it essentially just fractures into large chunks and is totally useless for repeated hits. So it's not good at all. But a lattice structure can basically allow energy dispersion throughout the structure via the propagation of a lot of small deflections that can occur throughout the designed lattice, such that more...
So, layman's terms, what he's doing here is he's trying to incorporate what's known as crumple technology. It's used often in automotive manufacturers. They have to design their frame of their vehicles in a kind of lattice now in holes in specific portions and using materials at certain points, like a steel frame with aluminum, built off of it. You know what I mean? So he's using it's called crumple tech. It was the shortened name for the process that he's using.
The material could be contributing to stopping the round, basically allowing shear, compression, and tension-based forces to all contribute more effectively to stopping the round. So now we're going to go over and do some ballistic tests of these panels, but a disclaimer, don't try this at home. We are doing this in a safe area, and of course, following firearm safety procedures. Now, I did want to call out at the time of this recording, it's totally legal and perfectly kosher to have a brace on this platform. I just have it on here so I can make sure that I have consistent tests. But of course, if any local laws or regulations change, I can easily detach this and have it destroyed in accordance to those, if anything changes in the future. It did hit a little bit lower, so the sight needs to be raised, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to shoot the other cube in the same spot just to make sure we have a consistent test. It didn't do very well at all. We got a couple large chunks, a bunch of small pieces in there. It didn't effectively transfer it. We just got that energy dispersion through these large crack lines and then darted a couple inches into that clay. So the impact that we see is much more spread out. More of the structure was trying to stop the round, and it did much less damage as far as penetration goes into the clay. But I want to continue this research doing more resin-printed tube
So that right there,
that can be a lot.
Between those two tests, he's showing a clear, it's no longer a theory. He's proven that a lattice structure will do what he set out originally to do. It'll stop a bullet better. The more he uses this crumple zone kind of tech,
A lot stronger.
It's going to work.
And this is where the Form 4 machine comes into play. Now, I've had my eye on Formlabs for a while because they have quite a lineup of very interesting resins, a lot of different characteristics, whether it's fireproof or they have some that are flexible. But these are the two that I'm trying today. I'm going to try Durable Resin V2, and I'm going to try the Tough 15.
The tough line. That tough line is what I was talking about earlier. This is the stuff that they really are. They're starting to bring resin printers into the, like, oh, you're not just making miniatures, are ya? It's high def and high strength. That's another thing about resin printers is that you can literally make layers like half the width of a human hair. So the girls are going crazy. I think the fucking postman's here. Just hold on.
V2, and I'm going to try the Tough 1500 because those seem like the best options for these lattices. Now, I don't expect that any of these are going to stop the 5.7, period. It just has a very high penetration capability. But I do have some 7075 aluminum, which is an aluminum alloy that's known to be very strong. So I'm likely going to have to put 1 or 2 layers of that in front of these lattices, and we'll basically use the lattices as a final line of defense or a really strong impact pad. That being said, I do expect that the resins to stop the 22. I just don't know what degree yet. First, we're going to set up the resin tray. Simply just drop it in place, lock it in, and then you remove the UV filter on top. We're also going to install the wiper. This is going to make sure that the resin is evenly distributed throughout the print, and then I did attach the print head up above. But this is the full set with the wash, cure station, Form 4, and 3 liters of resin that they sent. Now we're going to go through the basic setup. Really intuitive here. It walks you through step by step. And then you can insert the resins by simply venting the cap and dropping them in place. The printer will monitor the weight of that to know how much is left. And that's all there is to get this up and running. Now I did, of course, install Preform. This is Formlabs' slicer program. And I just dropped my lattice in there. And this app is also a testament to their engineering or even programmers' abilities. It was able to patch my my model way better than Chitubox or Lychee slicers have been able to, because they can have some holes in those mesh after tune, but this one just worked. It did an awesome job, and even has a one-click option, which has worked for me every time I've printed with this thing. None of my prints have failed with this, and even when you swap out the resin, the printer knows what type of resin it has loaded up and relays that to Preform so that Preform automatically applies whatever settings are optimal for the given resin that's loaded, making this by far the most polished. And
there's another thing about resin printers is that they seem like they're very consumable heavy. He has to wear gloves. It's wet everywhere. You need to have a lot of freaking paper towels on hand, and like it seems just so, and it's not done yet. That's another thing. The printing is done. Watch what else he has to do with this. He has to put it in a UV like bath. He has to bathe it, take all the extra shit off of it.
Every little detail they've thought about and tuned really well. Another unexpected piece is it also shows you at the end of the print exactly how long to wash and cure your part.
Yeah, you gotta wash it,
no more
and then
having
you
to
gotta
hammer and scrape your parts off.
That's what they call it.
Simply push these in, and it pops it right off. And they also sent me another resin tray, so I have one for each type of resin. This way, when I swap resins, all I have to do is pull one tray out, put the other tray in, and they give you stickers as well, so you can label them accordingly. Now, just grabbing the backing of the support material.
It's so fucking I have to just have a spool of filament, and I just have to heat up the nozzle, and yeah, it's not as high def. I mean, look at that. That looks great. I wish I could print that on my 3D printer. Unfortunately, I can't get that kind of definition. You know? Lots of waste, yeah. It's just so much, like, it's just so much manual. Like, I'm already having like, doing this, it's fun. Like, I printed it out, I smoothed it out, I put primer on it, I smoothed out the primer, and then I painted it up. I had a lot of fun. It doesn't smell like shit in here. I was streaming, I was listening to music. You saw me painting it, It was great. It just seems like I can't do this while doing this. It's not going to happen.
And squeezing it, I can feel that there's pretty good stiffness on the durable resin, but it's really flexible. It's not brittle at all, which is pretty encouraging for something that's going to be impacted. Whereas the Tough 1500 is definitely stiffer, but it is brittle. It actually broke with a similar test. So we'll see. Maybe the durable does better. But we're going to wash these now. Then, of course, I cured it to the specs, and we now have our two lattice structures for testing. Now, the durable print has a really neat, like, opalescent look to it. But let's go ahead and shoot it and find out for sure.
Oh, hold on. No. So, obviously, everybody knows that, he's a certain way. Opalescent? Can somebody look that up for me?
Two lattice structures for testing. Now, the durable print has a really neat, like, opalescent look to it, but let's go ahead and shoot it and find out for sure.
Was he trying to say opaque? Did he sparkle a word? Opalescent? No, just shut up. No. Like, exhibiting a milky iridescence like that of an opal. Okay. I thought for sure that was not a thing. It but hey, you know what? I'll give him this much. He may be a certain way, but he used a real word. That word is gay, though. That word is gay.
Okay, so we see the
I
round
hang on to
entered
the
in the face.
sorry. I stopped the show and I hang on to the stupidest shit. Don't worry about my homophobia and my fucking racism. I'm just an idiot. Don't worry about it.
A little bit of cracking, so it did hold together pretty... Yeah, okay. So we have a little bit of backface deformation here, but clearly their tough resin is tons better than the alternate stuff that I was using.
Guys,
so let's go ahead and switch over to the durable and see.
This guy's doing great testing. I mean, holy shit.
There's no way. That is stopped completely on the surface. It's literally sticking out of the material.
Bro!
And there's no backface deformation.
All right, since that did so good, we're actually going to shoot it again because there's no fracturing. So let's see how it handles another impact.
Hey, here we go.
No way. Dude. Taking 2 shots like that, I mean, there's a little bit of cracking going on right between them. But right between there's a little fracturing. But still, to have the second one sticking out even further than the first one in that close of proximity for something that's 3D printed, that's disgusting. In a good way. Let's try something that's not the 22. Let's bump this up to...
Aw, dick. That's disgusting. What does he got here? Ooh, what do you got here,
the
bud?
9mm full metal jacket. Now, I know that this is going to go through that 20mm of material for sure. So I actually, just for kicks, printed another one. So we have 2 of these 20mm lattices, and I'm still reusing the one that we shot twice with the 22 because it just had one little crack in it. And we're going to see what happens.
That's a hell of an armor. Oof.
So obviously... Oh, actually, so, yeah, huge hole.
What is this guy wearing?
Is totally intact down there. One came through, and
no,
then
hold
actually
up.
just
No.
shoved this out of the way.
No. We don't get to... No. No, what? What was that? We don't get to just pass over that. What was that? No. Oh, I'm Batman. Oh, hello. Hello, Frauzo. Is Frozen here? Did he come in when I was gone? Oh, hello, Frauzo. He's just wearing that.
Cracking it. And we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, he's just wearing that.
So obviously,
it's a vest.
So,
like,
yeah, huge hole.
See, it's got like he's got like a regular like long sleeve shirt on underneath, but it's got like, what the fuck is that?
But the round is totally intact down
there. Oh, I'm Batman.
Came through, and then actually just shoved.
And we're just gonna no sell that.
This out of the way, so it came up and it just darted, and then it darted downwards. So it came in, and obviously big cavity here, but it's funny because it's totally intact because it's going through much softer mediums, of course. So
did you see that? It was dented though. It deformed it. No, that's the back end of it. Yeah, it's a full metal jacket. There it is. You see that? Right at the tip there? You can't really see it that well. It deformed it and deflected it. Anyway.
Going through much softer mediums, of course. So we know that of these 2 resins, durable is definitely the best. So I'm going to keep tuning for this one in particular. But 20mm is way too thick to be stopping at 22. So I'm going to thin this out to just be 10 millimeters thick. And I'm actually going to do a technique that I've wanted to do with these lattices for a while now, which is doing a gradient-based approach. So materials with gradient, whether it's via composition or the actual structure itself, can exhibit optimal behavior for certain loads. But what I'm going to do with this lattice is adjust it such that the node sizes scale back the further we get into the actual plate. Now in 10 millimeters, I can only fit 4 layers here. And we're going to start with the front face having a much denser weave to impede the penetration, and then each layer going deeper, the node count is essentially reduced, but the bridges are then thickened. So we get a very strong backing that's going to resist cracking and support that density.
So what he's talking about here is that it's well, he said it. There's a gradient to it. You know, it's going to be more crumple and then more and more tougher. It's going to add to the crumple zone, if you will, to foundations and. Oh, hey, DV, I didn't see you pop in here. You're getting a kick out of this too, huh? Yeah, I should have. I should have messaged you early. Did you watch all of this with us? This is fucking awesome.
Denser face in a gradient-based approach. Because again, in engineering, if you have sharp transitions, those are where things tend to break. Now, after printing this out and cleaning it up, and looking actually pretty neat, you can visually see that denser pattern in the front versus the thicker, coarser bridges in the back. So let's go ahead and hit this with that same round. I don't know. I mean, 10 millimeters is pretty thin.
Kind of cracked.
Oh, it did stop it. So we did get some, it actually knocked a chunk back. We got that Hertzian cone, that classic shape did form there. Now, just to compare how strong this durable resin is from Formlabs, I printed out more of these 10 millimeter cubes, but with the general resin printer with hobbyist, ABS, and regular resin.
You should probably try the middle ground. You should probably try something like 15.
So John didn't even get a chance to shoot this one down here because it popped off. But again, this is just a 22 long rifle. This is what it's doing through those 10 millimeter thick resin ABS-like cubes with typical hobbyist resins. Now this one up here is your most common resin. This is like an 8K resin for figurines or whatnot, like here. And you can see it did the worst. That's the largest hole, which is funny to say because these are devastating nonetheless. And these are the ABS-like. So absolute garbage for any sort of ballistics, which is why this is still impressive. This is the Formlabs at the 10 millimeter, and it still stopped it. So the ultimate goal for this initial research is the 5.7. That's my target because it is harder to stop than the 9 millimeter, which means that I can already smell the comments saying, but the 9 millimeter is more energy. So it must be harder to stop. It's not the case. And just to prove my point, it takes like an hour to make. So I made a very basic composite panel. So there's no infills, nothing special with this. But I'm going to shoot it with the 9 a couple times, full metal jacket, and you're going to see that it's going to be stopped each time. And I'm also going to shoot it with a couple full metal jacket 5.7. And you're going to notice that both of those are going to puncture through with no problem. All right, point it up, it's unloaded. So there you go. Got stopped. Now, yes, this would hurt, obviously, but the point is just showing that you can stop it with much less.
Remember the first time that people were, God, I still think fondly of the first time people were like, yo, fucking, you can make your own armor at home. Big Armor has been lying to you, you know? Like... is somebody... Oh, when's Pessy going live? Hold on. I want to make sure I'm not... He's probably taking the same time as yesterday, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, he's going at 30 after. Okay. So in about an hour. I got you for another hour, guys. If you like what I do here, and you like when I quote people out of context, and it's fucking hilarious, Look at the pinned message. Shout out to Renee. Go ahead and donate. Like Renee, you can donate, and we can reach the goal. And yeah, that would be really cool. It's a really low goal. It's $20 a stream. Yeah. Links are in the description.
Right. Open chamber. There it is. Okay, I got the 957, and we're going to get the 9 in there again just to show you that it wasn't weakened in that nearby area that let the 57 through. Ready? It's stuck on here. But you can see again, got the same pocketed shape as before. And this is the hole that it left. You can see it's quite large, and it did bounce all the way back, and then it left a pretty good sized dent in the plywood right here. That's where it dented, and then chucked back out. So you can see lots of energy still here. You know, you can put pretty much 2 hands in this hole. We are going to do some ad hoc testing with some aluminum here. I'm going to start with 2 layers, so it'll be 6 millimeters total, 2 3-millimeter layers, and then we'll either go up or down depending on how the test goes. The minion is back at work, not paying you overtime.
Only regular time.
Yeah, I know. Just locking this in with pushing that into the foam. Like pushing it, driving that through. A little bit of duct tape, plate, and foam. Vegetable oil. Yeah, no, I think that aluminum stopped it, which is crazy. I can't believe that stopped the 5.7. Yeah, no, it's. I mean, it shoved it in there, and it looks like it broke a little corner off here. Oh, but this is some.
Well, it is an alloy.
Yeah, this 7075 is clearly some impressive stuff, yeah.
Oh!
Wait, no, it broke it here. Yeah. Broke it here. Oh yeah, no, that's a mess. There it is. But you can see the round. See it? Look at right through here. You can see it right back there. Right. Let's see if I get my hand out of the way here.
I'm blocking
Sorry.
the light.
Right there. There it is. Yep. It just pieces though. Like
Between 1 and 2.
it does. Yeah, you need that one little bit of backing. It just bored right through that. And yeah, once it got through this metal, it was no test.
So we now know that 2 layers is required for the 5.7.
we're almost done with
but
this video.
just out of curiosity, I'm going to put one of these aluminum plates in front of the plywood and shoot it with the 9mm to see if 1 is sufficient for that caliber.
So it's right there, and it actually didn't tunnel through like our 5.7 did. It ended up actually breaking off large chunks because it is a bulkier round. And it did shove some of these little pieces of the metal back. And then there's the ball, and it left the jacket behind stuck in the aluminum panel, and it's really in there. So
Don't go
Now my
press that
immediate
sharp
idea is that I
edges,
could use these
dummy.
in custom shapes as pads along my back, and also to help hold the holsters for my spinal battery cells away from my back. And then that got me thinking, I wonder if shooting one of these cells with this pad behind it would be enough to stop something like the 9. I really don't think it would stop the 5.7, but I mean, they are pretty thick,
What
and
is he
depending on how
making?
densely they're wrapped, I might get an unexpected result. You just never really know with ballistics what you might see. My hunch is it tear right through, but I think I'm going to do that for my next video actually, because it shouldn't be too much research. I just have to make some custom pads with these lattices, so I'll have to mess with, warping these panels into custom shapes while retaining the geometry. But beyond that, it should be a pretty quick turnaround. I don't expect them to catch on fire, but again, you never know.
Jameson brings up a great point. Ready or Not is on sale on Steam Spring Sale. Oh wow, the spring Bruce Spring started. The spring. Bruce Spring. The spring sale started. Okay. Do you have a computer that can run it? I mean, I have a 2080 Ti, and I have to kind of turn the fans on in order to run it and stream it. But I could do it. I like the game. It having the CQB aspect of it. It's kind of a beast. Okay, yeah, it'll run it just fine then. you you can't let the game scare you, because people, like, for some reason, a lot of people get hung up on the game as if you're supposed to go slow. And I guess, like, that's how they designed the game, Ready or Not, but having been trained in specifically that, you kind of want to go fast. Like, at certain times, you just want to move through that fatal funnel, you know what I mean? And just go to your corner, or, you know, clear it. You just want to go a little fucking faster. And that's one hang up on the game that I absolutely hate, is that trying to move, you can move faster than how the game is like showing you. I fucking hate that. I know, smooth. Yeah, but after having done it, you just need to go. I love the game. I play the game. I got the DLCs. I love it.
Okay, so again, the 2 plates is really what it takes. Despite that pretty sharp push out the back here, it didn't actually fracture.
I got it back when
this
it was
material.
on alpha.
What's crazy is it seems like it actually shoved clay through the lattice because there was so much pressure. See how this clay is showing up here? Obviously, there was no clay between this, so it literally squished clay through this tight multi-layer gradient. Pull this back here, and you can see that, yep, so this did push out the back as well. It transferred some of that energy back. But the good news is this is not fractured at all. So could totally take some repeated hits here.
Oh, right there at the bottom.
So I hit it on the lower side, so that's where it struck. And then there's the dent. Definitely a little bit lower shot. I mean, it's pretty challenging with that silencer on there because it totally blocks the iron sights. And it did knock off a chunk here.
Oh, man. Well, maybe you should fucking change your sights. Why would you, like, be okay with that?
It obviously did not penetrate, though. It was just a lot of force, and it was, again, a little bit lower. So it was a lot of force at the edge of this, so it was unsupported, and we did get that little bit of crack here. So we got a bigger dent as it pushed down and away. So the aluminum is doing the heavy lifting, and of course you would want some sort of fiber composite or something on top of this to reduce the spall and ricochets that happen on plain metal.
Now, if you want to mess around with these yourself and print them out with your own resins or FDM printers, check out my page.
Dude, has there ever been DV? Has there been anybody who just used Rhino liner and done tests on just regular old, and not the fucking the brand name Spall Protectron from the AR-500 company, who's-a-call-its, you know? Has anybody ever done that where it was just like, yo, I got a can of Rhino liner, and I did that to my AR-500, and it fucking worked, man. Oh, I don't know why I'm JJ now. She's got weird elbows, man. I think somebody probably did, right?
Patreon, I've got several different varieties up on there, and the 3 varieties that I have up are a Schwartz P-like structure, a hexagonal weave, and a cylindrical hexabridge style. And I've got 2 samples at different thicknesses, and then you can also download a 110 millimeter panel that's 14 millimeters thick of each of those as well, and you could scale that if you wanted to for a project or something like that. Now, I'll see you next time when I bring the 5.7 against these life.
He made it open source?
Against the...
Hold on, wait. He made that open source. Cool. Cool. Thanks, James.
These lithium iron phosphate cells that I have
Well,
here.
we're good.
These will be
No.
going on my spinal battery version 2, again, that I'm working on in the background. And as mentioned,
Spinal
I'll put these
hold
gradient
on.
lattices behind them, just out of curiosity to see if the cells with the gradient lattice provides any sort of ballistic protection against potential handgun rounds. So I hope that you enjoyed this research. It was definitely a lot of fun trying these different calibers.
So obviously
trying my
he's
gradient
doing.
lattices.
Obviously he's doing some kind of cool fucking thing. Yeah, spinal battery. So when I put on the next music thing, I'm gonna pull up another video of this guy and figure out
With Formlabs
what this guy's
machine,
doing.
and shooting some aluminum, because I've never done that before. Again, the best free way to support the channel is just leaving a like or a comment, even if it's just, thanks for sharing the video. Always helps my video reach more people out there. It helps the channel grow, and will eventually help me fund more of my projects. Of course, this is all funded by my day job, and a few light sponsorships here and there. But until I make those custom pads shaped to my system and test these, I'll see you all in the comments below.
All right. Listen to this.
gets me down. I heard it lives down the river somewhere. 6 cars and a Greece leaving. Got eyes, but he can't see where he talks like an angel, but he looks like me. Oh Lord. Everybody plays a beautiful game while I'm in Brazil, 'cause it's all you've ever wanted, and it's all that you want still. Don't you wanna play the beautiful game out in Brazil? I wanna play the beautiful game while I'm in Brazil. Cause everybody plays the beautiful game out in Brazil. And oh, you never want it, and it's all that you want still. Don't you wanna play the beautiful game out in Brazil? I heard it lives down the river somewhere. The 6 cars and Chris in the bed. He got eyes, but he can't see. Well, he talks like an angel, but he looks like me. I heard it lives down the river somewhere. With 6 cars and Chris in the bed. He got eyes, but he can't see. Well, he talks like an angel, but he looks like me.
And that was my triple collateral on free for all.
Love that shit. Oh, no. Hold on. All right, so this guy is making a suit of armor. Just, I don't know, just check it out. Here we go.
So I finally finished my retractable Batman gauntlet project. So these are supposed to be inspired by Batman. They look like something that Batman could wear, and the reason that I have them be retractable is that I'm actually able to get a larger blade profile off of these while having these still be usable. So traditionally Batman has shorter blades, 1 to 2 inches long.
Oh, this one played out of nowhere. No. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is the one.
So I finally
So he's
finished
doing
my retractable Batman gauntlet project.
gauntlet
So these are supposed to be
blades.
inspired by Batman. They look like something that Batman could wear, and the reason that I have them
And
be
so he-
retractable is that I'm actually able to get a larger blade profile off of these while having these still be usable. So traditionally Batman has shorter blades, 1 to 2 inches long, and again they're designed for catching blades. Now if you wanted these to actually be used on people, you'd probably want them to dig.
So he made these pretty much right after, the Batman and
to keep that
they get a
whole overall
ratcheting
aesthetic where
system.
it's-
They get a geared system, right? And then he's got, hold on, where is it? The battery itself to actuate it. Okay, here.
So here's my prototype of the spinal battery. This is a fully centralized system.
He's made it so that it's also it's gesture controlled. He makes a gesture with his hand, and it recognizes it. This guy's fucking insane. Like, this guy's like straight up insane.
So here's my prototype of the spinal battery. This is a fully centralized system. It has redundancies, safety fallbacks, and is capable of delivering large currents to peripherals like the ejectable or retractable Batman gauntlets that I designed.
You see that?
Never gets old. So for those not familiar,
and he also made his own arc reactor. He's one of these like guys who was just like, yep. We're gonna I want to make it because I can. Like, come on. I gotta respect that shit. That's some cool shit, man. That's some cool shit.
so for those not familiar, a peripheral is just a device. So this could be a motor, it could
He
be a
does
sensor, it could be a
cosplay.
solenoid like with what I've got here. Doesn't really matter, it's just a device that's going to require power that's going to be a peripheral to that main system, which is what this will be powering. So if you didn't have a centralized power supply, you'd have to have batteries on each device individually, which one, that's awkward because you're adding more weight to awkward spots potentially.
So from what I gather from his channel, yeah, he's nerding out to the max, and I'm all for it. I'm gonna subscribe now. Did I give you guys a link to this guy's channel? Yeah, he's earned a. He doesn't need a boost. He doesn't need the goofy bump. But you know what? He's gonna get it. I probably should have. I should have like thought that one through before I just like blurted that out. Moving on. There's the link. He's shirtless. I just said that. We're gonna move on.
But the other problem is having more points to recharge your batteries, right? If you have a bunch of batteries all over, that's a lot of different places to charge up every time that you've used something. And then additionally, the larger problem is that if I needed something like this guy, this is a solenoid that draws a lot of power for a short moment, but to have a battery that could supply that, I'd have to have a pretty big battery, which would be quite clunky. It would make this big, awkward to move, and vulnerable. So this power supply is, of course, near my center of mass, so it's a lot easier to move with this on. It's easier to protect this right here. I can put more heavy armor on it and things like that because it's on my back. So by having this one device as well, I'm allowed to have a lot of different redundancies, different chips in here to make sure that the central power source can be damaged. It'll switch power to the other columns, whatever it needs to do, where you might not be able to do all of that logic in every single battery you'd be putting around your suit. So this little control PCB circuit board back here, which is made by PCBWay, is my regulation chip. It basically supplies a regulated 5-volt power supply for certain peripherals that need that if they don't want to run off of the typical 12 or 14 volt power. And it also splits the power so I can run it off more easily to other peripherals. So it's kind of like a power bus, but I have to have other circuitry in here like my dual power diodes, fuses, and things in different spots, which basically I'll have a future chip that will be able to handle all that. Now, no doubt there'll be questions on the arc reactor. This is, of course, not powering the suit. I designed this a couple years ago. I just wanted to show it off. And it also gives an example of a peripheral again. So this is just a device that I could plug into this guy back here to have it power, just like it powers my actual Batman blades here. So the Batman suit is not going to have an arc reactor. I'm trying to have everything in the suit be actually functional, as this is my interpretation of what an actual functional bat suit in the real world would look like. So now onto the actual cellular composition. So by now I'm sure
he's making a real bat suit, like a real-ish, as real as he can get, bat suit. That's neat. That's pretty cool.
Thinking, can these require 12 or 10 volts?
Okay,
I picked circular-based cells and not flat ones because a circular cell, no matter what angle you hit them at, it's distributed evenly, where a flat surface, of course, if you were to hit it in the middle, it's much weaker there than at the ends. And then regarding the redundancies, are totally isolated until outside that diode where they've been merged.
Just nerding out.
And that's where you're able to get power that all your systems are powered.
Skip.
Even with half of it being totally destroyed, it continues operating.
This is the kind of weird shit that, you know, as soon as you start giving, people think that I'm like next level. No, people think I'm edgy when it comes to the 3D printing stuff and no, Jameson is way more like from our discussions. Jameson's way more like heavily into the embedded electronics and stuff like that. People think that I'm edgy. No, this guy built a house on the edge where he lives year-round. This guy's edgy.
As normally as possible. And then, of course, I did sew up this harness here. I was actually originally making...
He's got a sewing machine. Like, that would be really cool. I would actually like to get into, like, working on making my own, like, fucking gear. That would be cool.
Full degree of freedom hinges that would connect each cell together because the thoracic spine, the upper portion, has fairly limited flexibility. But then I started thinking, like, a strap is even more flexible, more comfortable, and it can take hundreds of pounds, like if you get military nylon. So I decided just to strap them all to that so that it's quite flexible. And nylon, of course, is impact resistant. So with nylon, if you hit it with a hammer or slash it where it doesn't cut all the way through, it's going to continue to behave totally normally for a system like this.
Should I just get like should I just dive into getting a Singer sewing machine or something? Get a new hobby that's gonna be crazy expensive. No, I should probably hold off on the whole sewing machine arc.
Whereas if you had a hinge, then you smashed it, it might impinge the hinge from actually moving and cause other issues. So I decided just to go with sewing because that is a lot stronger there.
That would be kind of cool
and again,
if
it does
you did.
provide for a lot of natural motion, and this battery set is extremely light, so it really doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything back there. I can easily run, jump, do flips, whatever, and it's not going to get in the way of that. Now I do have
is this why this guy's so fit? He's all
run, jump, do flips, whatever, and it's not going to get in the way.
Yeah,
of that.
okay.
Now, I do have prototype version number 2 already well in the works. I've got a lot of designs and things built for that. I've revamped the 3D models so that they've got stronger strap support and other details in here for cable management and ensuring that this system is more organized and places for fuses and other things like that for, again, more redundancy and safety. Life, I recommend going through them. So do click.
He's branded by PCBWay. Well, good for him. Crash Makerspace. I dropped a link up in chat there if you want to scroll up and give him a follow if you're into that kind of shit. I am. I'll keep an eye on it and show what is necessary. But for most of his stuff, I just kind of, it looks like I'm just skimming through it, and it's neat. Cool shit. Hey, all right. That was cool. Yeah, he's jacked. Yeah. DV's gaying out. Go for it. In fact, I'm probably guaranteeing that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Crash Makerspace. Cool. Shout out to my favorite coot. All my favorite coots.
Eins, zwei, drei, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, Salte Gag, 7, 8, gute Nacht.
God, this is a good one. Love that one. Yeah. All right. So I'm kind of like, still just kind of waiting for Pessy to go live, and I don't even know if he's live yet. He's not even live yet. Khadid. Kut. My favorite Kut. Yeah. I wonder what we're gonna play next. Here, let me put on something in the background here. Yeah. Oh my God, Khadid. It is Khadid. Whoa, he's alive. I forgot. I forgot we were doing that bit. Alright. What are we gonna watch? What do we have on my watch later algorithm that we haven't watched yet? Oh yeah, there is that. Oh, okay. damn YouTube player. I'm trying to press pause, and it goes, "Oh yeah, here's where you press pause." But oh yeah, by the way, now that button is now the backtrack button. Fuck. All right. So we're all friends here. We all, hey, we're all buddies here. We can talk. I've been very vocal about this. Pessy has been very vocal about this, but the raid has changed. The raid was revolutionary. And this guy did a video about the movie that spawned an entire, like, it was the quintessential moment where it was like, yo, remember when movies were all about like kick-ass fucking action? That was the raid. The raid was that movie. Oh, there's gonna be blood and gore and death, and just letting you know. But this movie was amazing.
So, you meet up with your friends to watch this Southeast Asian movie that someone recommended, saying it was a one-of-a-kind experience. You start watching, and at first, you're kinda surprised. It looks a bit cheaper than what you're used to, and you don't really get what all the hype is about. And then, this happens. And in that moment, you realize you might never be able to watch another action movie again without comparing it to this one. But what exactly makes it so impressive?
I remember, so how it happened for me was somebody had said, hey, here's this torrent file. I know, I'm a bad boy. But they were like, hey, here's this torrent file. Here's this magnet link. You need to watch this. And I just blindly started watching it. It was a subtitle. The English dub hadn't been made yet. And so at first I was like, ugh. But it captures it. It just immediately captures you. It's an amazing fucking movie.
I think determining whether an action scene is effective isn't always a purely rational process. For instance, one approach I like is as simple as asking whether it feels easy on the eyes or not. Take, for example, this sequence from The Raid. In this scene, Evans establishes the spatial context in the initial shots, allowing us to understand our location within the environment. He then builds tension with a riser sound effect, followed by a couple of quick cuts as the fight begins, leading into the most engaging part of the choreography. And here, I want you to pay attention to where your eyes naturally go during the scene. First, there's a pronounced movement of the knife sliding, accompanied by the camera panning as the scene begins, guiding our gaze to the right. Immediately after, another strong movement occurs in the same direction, and then the action continues unfolding toward the right.
Dissecting. He's dissecting like a shot for shot of this, just this one fight scene. Like, yeah, but I mean, you gotta get to the point here, man.
Even when the camera shifts to the opposite side and cuts, instead of following the typical shot-reverse shot logic, where our perspective would usually change direction, like in conversations where we switch from one person's eyes to the other's, we still keep looking to the right, which ensures a smoother and more organized perception of the action. And this makes action scenes with numerous cuts easier to follow, preventing the need for your eyes to constantly dart from one area to...
This guy's theory here about the eye, keeping the eyes over here to the, and he places this little thing here. Oh, this is where your eyes are. No, not for everybody, dude. you shouldn't have done that.
To another, which can be particularly exhausting in fast cut sequences, like this one. And I'm using this example because it literally has the same actor. So you can see that it doesn't matter if the actor knows how to fight if the director doesn't know how to capture it. And in this example of how the average viewer's eyes move while watching these two scenes, you can compare why one is easy to follow,
Okay,
while the other...
No, I thought he was going to talk about how... No. I don't endorse what this guy's saying, but okay.
Just feels like visual
Let's watch
noise.
it anyway.
And that's just one of the many things that make the raid's action far superior to your typical fight movie. And since I already talked about what I think is the most influential Hollywood action movie of the last 10 years, today I want to talk about the one that takes that title on a global scale, and how it's proof that in film history some of the biggest breakthroughs often happen by accident, because this is at its core, a movie that wasn't even supposed to exist. That's why today I want to
Oh my god. This guy in the fucking movie was... He was just as evil as the main evil boss man, as Mad Dog. If not more. Way more. He was the worst guy to come across in this entire movie. Death was awake in this guy's path, and behind him there was a wake of death.
Been supposed to exist. That's why today I want to focus on how Gareth Evans, with 340 times less budget than the last Fast and Furious, meaning just $1 million, made a film that changed action cinema forever, and what it is that makes its action scenes so unique. But before we dive into the analysis, a huge shout out to today's sponsor, War Thunder, the ultimate free-to-play military game that truly makes you feel like you're in your own action movie, letting you battle across land, sea, and air with a massive selection of vehicles that you can customize however you want, ranging from historical models from the mid-20th century
was with me
to
on that
modern-day
one. DV was with me, like... This guy, the guy was assuming where he was watching was where we're all watching. Like, get your head out of your ass, dude.
machines. And if all of that sounds good, trust me,
like,
it's even better when you experience it yourself. Because once you start playing, you'll really appreciate how fresh and immersive the gameplay feels. For instance, there's no generic health bar here. Every hit counts, and a well-placed shot can completely shift the battle. Combine that with realistic...
We know about War Thunder, dude. Let's get with the
OS or Android with the link in the description. Big thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. You see, the other day, I was talking about how Chad Stahelski, the guy behind John Wick, has been one of the biggest names in action over the last decade. And yeah, no question about it. But it's also kinda unfair to overlook someone else who's just as big in action over the last 10 years.
This scene was badass.
And as follow-up to that video where I talk about action cinema, I think it's worth diving into him. This time though, I'm not as interested in breaking down every action scene, but what I'm more interested in is the process behind how Evans developed his approach to shooting action. Because unlike Chad, he wasn't—
What was that movie, Monkey Man? I still gotta see that.
familiar with martial arts, or even the genre, at all. Which makes the whole situation even crazier. Because how does a 30-year-old British guy with no real connection to the Indonesian film industry end up making an action movie in Indonesia with a mostly local crew on a budget of just $1 million and somehow create one of the most important action films of the 21st century?
Well,
I'm not...
Guys, it was a $1 million budget movie. It's a cult classic now. In everybody's action, in everybody's metric, it's like almost universal. It's not panned. It's universally accepted as being, yeah, that's an action movie. And yeah, The Raid, man. It's something that most action movie buffs have seen. And it's weird. It's weird how it's like, yeah, that was a really great movie. $1 million. I should have done that. Hi, Kabuki.
the first person to wonder about that.
You're a Welsh-born filmmaker making really cool Indonesian action films.
He's Welsh. I thought he was English. Harum. I like the whole, like, the inner Commonwealth, like, hating each other. You know, like, oh, the fucking dirty fucking Welsh. Oi, bruv. He's a fucking Welsh. Yuck. You know? The fucking Irish. Oi.
At what moment did it all begin?
I mean, it all kicked off purely because of my wife, really. She arranged for me to do that documentary out in Indonesia, and it was all about silat. And that was kind of the first time I got introduced to the martial arts discipline from Indonesia.
The thing is, this whole story starts with two big coincidences. The first one being Evan stumbling upon silat.
And then suddenly I'm in this other country, learning a brand new martial art that I had not really properly seen before. And I just found it really visually interesting, I guess, in a way. And we met Iko through that documentary.
And the second was him discovering Iko Uwais, a martial artist who had never acted in anything before, but who Evan saw potential in and decided should star in his movie.
And we couldn't take our eyes off him. We just thought he had this screen presence about him.
He gave me the script, like, Iko, you're the lead actor and you're the main actor. Oh, hold on.
And who, without realizing it, was taking his first steps toward becoming an action movie star. But the truth is, like any success story, from the outside, it seems like this unstoppable rise. Though in reality, the journey was actually a bit more complicated. For one, The Raid wasn't the first movie Iko and Evans made together. Before that, there was Marantau. A way less known film that got a little buzz at some festivals, but mostly went under the radar. And if you watch even just a few scenes, you'll notice it feels pretty different from The Raid. For starters, the story has a more adventurous and somewhat hopeful vibe. But what really stands out is how the action feels totally different. Something you can see in something as simple as how a character falls. Here, it's like this. While in The Raid, well, it straight up looks like a fatality. And you can see this search for innovation in how Evans blends multiple styles within the same film. At times, you get shaky cam fragments that feel straight out of a documentary. Moments that resemble a war film. Others that evoke horror cinema. And, of course, plenty of classic martial arts sequences. Only this time, the camera takes on a much more active role in the fights. Because, broadly speaking, I think we can say there are two main ways to approach action. First, relying on internal montage, favoring long takes, very much in the style of Hong Kong cinema. And second, leaning more toward external montage, which relies on a much higher number of cuts. And I think what makes The Raid so interesting is that it's one of the...
That makes it so expensive, too. You gotta constantly shift, move the camera, shift, you know... do a retake. Oh, damn it. That doesn't match up. And you also have to, when you're doing that many shift, do a take, you know, when you're constantly doing that, you have to have a continuity. You have to have a person on set who has to go through all of what you've filmed before and of all of the shots and make sure that, like, oh yeah, the cup was over there. He swung with his left hand that one time. You can't have him swinging with his right hand in the next shot where it's supposed to be that same strike, because then it's going to look weird. So you have to have some with this, you know, constantly cut and place. You got to have a continuity person on set, and that's just their one job.
few films that finds a middle ground and makes it work so well. In that sense, it's really interesting to look at Gareth Evans' evolution as a filmmaker, because in a way, he had already mastered the first approach in Marantau, a film where the Jackie Chan influences couldn't be more obvious. And you'd think that a director who nailed choreography and long take action sequences in his very first action film would want to double down on that in his next projects, since that's what is most highly praised. But what's remarkable about Evans is that he went in the opposite direction. Of course, part of that was due to budget constraints. I mean, the Raid barely had a few bucks to work with,
That
and
was
trying
cool.
to pull off long takes in
This,
a brutal...
this behind the scenes, oh my god. So if you get a chance, behind the scenes on the Raid is like it's a good watch. You know what? I'm going to probably bring that up to Pessy. Maybe he could watch that on his stream. Like, it's a really good, like, he's seen it. I know he has. But like, to show everybody, or maybe I'll do it. I don't know. But I think it would fit very well if Pessy would do it. Oh. Whoops, I forgot to turn off the I'm trying to make sure hold on, mute tab. Just in case when he goes live. All right.
in a brutal action and style with limited resources isn't exactly the best idea, unless you want half your crew getting injured. But it was also a stylistic choice. Because if the Raid's aggressive and raw choreography had been shot in long takes, it might have felt too realistic, which could have undermined Evans' intention of portraying a more stylized, almost comic book-like violence. Something you can especially see in the second film with these two.
Yeah,
I didn't want people to come away from it disturbed. I didn't want them to come away feeling repulsed.
I was not happy with this girl that they put in and her twin. The characters seemed so over the top and so forced. And it was I would probably have to say, like, 'cause what did they call her? Hammer Girl and Bat Boy, Baseball Bat Boy. Like, they gave them shitty names, and they made their characters so fucking over the top. And oh, there were boob cutlets in the bra. That's funny. I missed it. I wasn't looking at her tits. Funny, weird enough. Am I okay? I wasn't looking at her tits. Am I okay? Whoa. I'm not acting my normal self here, guys. What's going on? Am I under the weather? Yeah. But I think that these two characters, some writer got carried away. It just didn't, they didn't fit. They seemed out of place.
I didn't want people to come away from it disturbed. I didn't want them to come away feeling repulsed by the violence. It's it can be entertaining without being harmful, you know?
Mm-hmm. In a way, the quick cuts strip away some of that realism, making the action feel more playful and rhythmic instead. For instance, just take a look at this shot from Atomic Blonde, a really interesting case. It's a film that tries to build a tone very similar to John Wick, and some even say it's set in the same universe, since it was directed by one of the co-directors of the first John Wick movie.
It even had this guy in it, who was in the John Wick movie. This East German blonde dude that Uma, or whoever the fuck, or whatever her name is. It's not Uma. Monsters Ball.
Everything about it is incredible, but there's still something that doesn't quite click for me. Because the brutal choreography, rough handheld camera work, and naturalistic acting make it feel almost too real, which, to me, doesn't fully align with a movie that puts so much effort into crafting an artificial tone. What I mean by this is that long takes often communicate a more grounded, realistic feel, which makes sense in cases like Daredevil, where the shot itself is a statement of intent meant to ground the hero, or in The Revenant, where even the camera lens gets splashed with water to immerse us in that world. That said, of course, there are alternatives, like in Oldboy, where the action feels more theatrical, or in Barry, where the camera pulls so far back that the violence starts to feel
I've set myself apart a little bit. I can actually watch good movies on my channel, whereas I didn't hinder myself like Pessy, where you only gotta watch. I'm hating. I'm just player hating.
It's absurd.
Where you only gotta watch shitty films. Maybe I'll watch Oldboy.
But
that'll be
here,
cool.
it felt like an incredible scene. Sure.
You
but
know
from a
what we could do, since I like doing comparatives of remakes and shit. We can watch the original, and then we can watch the weird American Oldboy.
Completely different movie. And of course, none of these approaches were what Evans was aiming for in The Raid. So the thing is, he had to go for a much more frenetic style of editing.
What was that? Did you hear that weird cut? That was weird. I'm gonna weird out on that one.
The thing is, he had to go for a much more of course, none of these approaches were what Evans was aiming for in The Raid. So the thing is, he had to go for a much...
But the thing is... Whoa. Oh, it looks like Pessy's gonna go live here soon. We're starting with the pre-show. What do you guys think? I've been going for what, 3 hours now? Something like that? Yeah, I've been doing 3 hours. I think that's pretty good. We're gonna finish up this video here, and then yeah.
Frenetic
we'll go
style
into
of
Midnight
editing.
Rift
Just
Party.
compare this scene from Marintow, where you have an 11-second shot with 13 consecutive attacks. To this one from The Raid. Where you also have 13 attacks, but spread across 12 different cuts. And yet, despite the rapid editing, it's still incredibly easy to follow, because all the movements flow toward the right, keeping our eyes locked in the same area of the frame. On top of that, after a series of quick cuts to emphasize impacts, there's always a wider shot, especially when the characters move through the environment, helping to maintain a clear sense of space. And those are the kinds of details that set Evans' approach apart from others like this, where, honestly, I don't even think it's worth analyzing what went wrong. But ultimately, compared to Marintow, I think the biggest...
That was the fight from Ronda Rousey and what's-her-face from... it's a Fast and the Furious movie. I think it was like Fast 10 or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Where they flew a car from one skyscraper to another.
Where, honestly, I don't even think it's worth analyzing what went
you.
wrong. But ultimately, compared to Marintow, I think the biggest innovation lies in how Evans handles the camera itself. And I think many of these changes can be traced back to Garrett's...
The camera play in The Raid is fucking amazing.
Approach to filmmaking, specifically his use of pre-visualization as a cornerstone of his process.
We pre-design everything. For the first 3 months, it's just me, Iko, and Yayan. Yayan plays Mad Dog. And the three of us will kind of workshop together in one room. It's just us in an office space with a bunch of crash mats and then a handy cam. And so we'll design every single detail of the fights from beginning to end.
You have to remember,
we go back.
Everything that you saw, Iko and and I think, what was his name? Yaya or Iya or whatever the fuck? Yayi or... These two guys, Mad Dog, These two guys fighting. Everything that you've seen. Oh, and the guy on the left here, on the far left. Everything. Hold on. I'm sorry. What's Dr. Seuss doing here? What's the Cat in the Hat doing here? we were just gonna glaze over this. What's the Cat in the Hat doing here? What was I saying again? Hey, we're just goofing. Oh, that's right. Everything that you've seen these guys in since is because of this film. Like they were in a new Star Wars because they were in the raid. Like they were inducted into the Star Wars canon as being like pirates or some shit. Yeah, like I don't know why I just kept skipping. I kept looking at him, and I was like, no, just power through it. Wait, what?
Designing
we gotta get through
every
this.
single detail of the fights from beginning to end.
We go back, we shoot again using a handycam, but this time we shoot the entire thing shot for shot, and we actually make exactly as it would be in the final film. So we know every edit decision, we know every angle, we know every camera movement.
You see, this is something that's widely used in action filmmaking, as well as in CGI-heavy movies. The problem is...
and I would see a lot of them, and until John Wick, the fight previs was always better than the final product of whatever movie they'd done it for.
And what sets Evans apart is that he actively participates in the choreography and thinks about editing rhythm as an extension of the fight choreography's rhythm. And in the end, that's what shapes the pacing of the entire scene. And for that, pre-visualization is essential, which is why Evans takes it to an almost obsessive level.
And then once we sort of have that in place, then
That's
we
very
use that
good.
as a template. So at the end of 3 months, we've got those video storyboards for every fight scene in the film.
And so when we're in production,
So that's how he was able to do. He was able to get away with not having a continuity person. He was the continuity person. The entire cast was the continuity people.
Well, as
They're
we're
the
shooting
ones
the real
doing the
version,
kicking
we just
and the
drop
punching.
that in on the
ones
timeline. And then if anything goes wrong, and
I do
one of the
I do my own stunt.
edits doesn't flow right, then we're already still on location.
I know.
I
He's
think
live.
in this sense, Salat plays a crucial role because, in a way, it's a martial art that works particularly well for cinema. For generations, it hasn't just been a combat system used in war. It's also been a cultural performance in Indonesia, with demonstrations often
did
looking
he
like this. And in case you're
apparently-
wondering, this is staged combat.
Breaking news. Biddy, 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 biddy. Breaking news. Breaking news. Hold on. Where's the breaking news one?
Newsflash!
Breaking news. Diddy, Puff Daddy, just put in officially a not guilty plea. All right.
Combat, a performance largely driven by the rhythm of
I
the
just
music.
wanted to
And
do
this
the
has
news
two
flash
key
drop.
implications. First, the martial artists already have experience in executing choreographed fights, which is a dream for any director, because not only are they experts, but they're already trained for exactly what's needed. And second, Silat inherently carries a strong sense of rhythm, almost like a dance, which might explain the musicality of the raid's action sequences. And that's one of the things I love most about The Raid, how it became a classic almost by accident. Evans wasn't trying to redefine action cinema. Marantau hadn't been a hit, and I doubt he had high expectations for The Raid, which actually came from a scrap script. Originally, he wanted to make a film about a young ex-con who infiltrates Indonesian gangs and gets caught in a war between crime syndicates, but the project was too ambitious, so he had to scrap it.
How does it feel?
Different.
If you're familiar with the series, you'll know that's basically the plot of The Raid 2. But instead of going down that path, Evans went for something much more stripped down. A single location and a straightforward plot. And ironically, having such limited resources pushed his creativity to the max, forcing him to make every hallway and every room count. And I think this is one of those examples to look at when you need some inspiration, speaking as an aspiring filmmaker, because Evans may not be a martial artist like Chad Stahelski, but creativity is like a muscle. It works best when it's pushed to its limit.
All right. It's very good. Very good. Okay, guys. This is it. Been here for 3 hours. We didn't get the goal. That's okay, though. There's always next week. We are going to raid into Midnight Rift Party. Thank you all for coming by and spending time with me. It was really cool. Yeah. So we're just gonna move on over. Thanks to the Goof Troop. Go give him kisses. Give Pessy kisses. Go give Pessy kisses. Alright, I'm gonna end that one there.